Coming back to those goosebumps, who are the data scientists or the AI luminaries we should follow, listen to? If I listen one camp, the NVIDIA camp, Jensen Huang talked about agents, so we did HR departments for agents. That's one extreme view. I listen to others, probably, I'm guessing, but you will possibly correct me yet again. People like Yandekan saying some of he's done with LMMs. At best, you get almost a mediocrity, almost the amalgamation of an average. And it's looking at different approaches to mitigate that. What's your advice which are the key issues, but also the voices to follow to really to cut through that noise?
I think you have to compartmentalize this, right? So if you look at NVIDIA, this is not really an AI company. It's a hardware company with fantastic business leadership. No, you can't. It's a hardware company with absolutely fantastic business managers, right? Who have a strategy, who don't get deterred by quarters or anything like that. They have a strategy, and with this strategy, and they took an opportunity, like they were true entrepreneurs. They were building chips for gamers, and they saw this operation that you need to have better physics models for games. This is exactly what these AI algorithms need. And if we can give them this compute opportunity, the AI algorithms will perform much better. And this is fantastic, right? These business guys. And I think definitely it's not just Young, it's the whole NVIDIA management team. Those are people to follow in their thinking, in the way they do strategies. And of course they are moving into this AI space, because if they can become their client number zero, they understand the market much better. And believe me, from a technical point of view, installing and configuring and maintaining NVIDIA drivers on a Linux machine, like something you would never think about installing a mouse driver anymore. Like in the 80s, installing a mouse driver was a big thing. Today, installing NVIDIA drivers and keeping the system running and not crashing is one of the most painful things you can do as a technician today, right? It really sucks. So they definitely need to be their customer number one, or number zero even. And they also want to control the system. Like, this is how you get to agents. You say, okay, there's this big problem, which is general AI. Like absolutely generalizable AI. And I'm not talking about consciousness and sentience and all this. We should have a beer and then talk about that.
Absolutely.
That's it. Like, you see all these talk shows, people talk about AI, they all talk about consciousness and blah, blah, blah. Like, shut the fuck up. It's really, seriously, let's talk about the business effects. But here, we talk about the business leaders, right? So, and there are fantastic ones. Also, what the Google CEO is doing now, or Eric Schmidt has done in strategy-wise with Google, those are business leaders to follow, because they made the jump. They actually separated their companies from the other companies by making a strategic move, betting on AI. Like, if you compare a standard data center to a Google data center, right? The Google data center has handymen working there. The others actually still have sysops. Why? Because everything is done AI-wise, and if the AI can't solve it, it's broken and needs to be replaced. That's Google's attitude. In an average commercial data center, people log into machines and try and fix a problem, right? These are two different worlds. These are not, and efficiency-wise, this is like 10 to the power 6 or 10 to the power 9 better on the Google side, right? So how can we even try to compete? This is the business leader side. On the AI side, I have very limited, all this is old stuff, right? If you think about it, it's all old stuff. So it's definitely worth reading all these things from Marvin Minsky. And I've just seen, the blog Asiaometry. It's like in Asia and economy, but this guy does fantastic talks about semiconductors and history, and he just did one on the Dartmoor conference, right? And where the term artificial intelligence was coined. That stuff is really worth reading, but from a historical point of view, not from a today business point of view. So if you really want to look on business-wise, I would say the most fundamental stuff that I see coming out of the system is by Sepp Hochreiter, who is a pure researcher and a fantastic teacher, right? He's not the commercial guy, but he is really a lot of the next steps that came in AI were initiated by him. So if you really want to be an early adopter, follow this guy, right? But he's so technical and he's so research focused that he has never gotten the billions of fundings that we're now pouring into algorithms that are based on his original algorithms. Then you have a guy like Jürgen Schmidhuber, who's a super smart brain, but he's so sad about not making the hundreds of millions that his students have made that it's very hard. Like these days, I don't know how much new research he's doing, right? Unfortunately, because he's a fantastic, brilliant mind. Then I'd say you go with Demis Hassabis, who has taken the long-term, short-term memory networks, put it into deep learning, and actually applied this in a very consistent way. Like he's actually applying all these algorithms to practical problems, like protein folding, like getting an AI to actually produce understandable math proofs, viable, non-hallucinating math proofs, which is a big thing. Optimizing small shit in matrix algorithms, things like that. So this is a guy with his team. It's his entire team, right? But it's his strategy that is being implemented. I would definitely follow him, and I will also follow Jan, not because he's the AI head of Meta, but because he's a very clear mind and he's geopolitically independent. It's like a European in America, and no fear of getting in touch with the Chinese and so on. So. I think he's right? The future is not LLMs. The future is something else. Of course, if you want to be on cutting-edge research, you are not doing what is commercial viable right now. But those are the very few people that I would think about in terms of AI research.
So old wine in new bottles?
Yeah, it is. Old wine. And look how old these algorithms are. But there's a big difference. We might still have the old wine, but now we have the pub to sell it.
I like a pub.
Right.
That's a good analogy.
It is. Before, all this wine was just in the cellar and no one had the key. Now you've given the key to a few people and they open pubs. And now people can actually use it. That's one thing. And the second thing is we have maybe we shouldn't say it's old wine. Maybe we should say it's old wineries. We have used these wineries to produce a lot of wine now, where we used to run algorithms that could run for a night on 10 CPUs. We now have them run on 1,000 GPUs. Of course, the results are very different. Originally, as researchers, we did not expect of getting good results just by letting something run longer and try more. But there is this chaos attractor barrier. When you get beyond this, you actually start getting good results. But the point is that you're in this curve, then you get exponential, and then it flattens out again, right? So on successfulness. But look, not everybody has to become an AI expert. Why can't I think personally, I do admire the business guys more, right? And maybe now it's time to talk about the business model.